You're listening to the Jaybird Watching Podcast, the official podcast of jaysjournal.com and fanside.com. We are the official ballroom chat for everything Toronto Blue Jays baseball, from game highlights to rumors and all the stuff in between. Here is your host, Craig Borden, with co-hosts Jason Lyons and Liz McGuire. Now let's talk some Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Good evening, Blue Jays fans, and welcome to another evening of the Jaybird Watching Podcast, episode 467, coming in hot, live, talking all things Max Scherzer. I am here with Jason Lyons and Liz. How we doing?
Really good, man. It's summertime. It's super hot in Toronto right now. All I do is
like that pink hat.
Let's go. So this is a this was a giveaway last year from the Jays at their Caravana night, and as you can see, it just says Blue Jays in a font no one's ever seen or cared about before. So it looks like a trash knockoff. But no, my friends, this was an official giveaway, and I realized I do love this hat.
Jason Lyons live from the couch. How you doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, if we want, we've got to get the live reports right from old baby Two Eyes here coming at us, and so I've got to reposition myself in the palatial Lions Castle to get to where the. I will say this though, I have switched fully now from TELUS to Rogers, our one of our partnering sponsors.
The Overlord.
Blue Jays. My internet, and it is much significantly better. So TELUS.
You look more attractive.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yes.
that's mostly makeup, but Scherzer appears to be struggling a little bit. I'm not gonna jury's out. He's given up 1 and 2 hits in 2.
Well, striking out 3 in the first inning.
Oof.
Oof, I like that.
Oof. With some bats. And in all reality right now, as we are coming in live to obviously talk the Max Scherzer second debut of the season after his injury list stint. Currently 1-0 Cleveland in Cleveland. And as we mentioned, Mad Max has got 3 strikeouts in the first inning, and he got beat by Steven Kwan and Jose Ramirez, of all people, in the first inning. So if you're going to get beat, those are the guys in the Cleveland lineup that at least should be beating you.
I want to know, did he scam us? I said he was scamming us. My boys here said he was not scamming us. So I think this is what I want to know. Are we been scammed?
Scherzer, I've been watching since the start here, and his control's there. He seems to be getting them, like any good pitcher wants you going left and right, back and forwards, moving around in the box. And he seems to be doing that effectively. He looks bigger. He looks like he may have taken some of that time to maybe hit the gym a little bit, which is good for him because he's old. So you kind of need that.
Yeah.
And it looks like it is hot, like really hot in Cleveland. I know the East Coast is just getting pumped with this. Is it a heat dome, Liz, or is it just I've heard it's grotesquely hot.
Honestly, man, I would call it a heat danger dome. That's what I would call it.
Danger Dome.
Highway to the Danger Dome.
Highway to the Danger Dome, starring Steven Seagal.
Mad Max himself in the Thunder. No, it's good. So it says it is 25 degrees Celsius currently in Cleveland, Ohio. It's rocking as he goes through another inning after a sweet little double play right there. Gotta love that. So checking them out for the sticky stuff, even, who would have thunk that right off the bat in the second inning? They're giving them that. So good.
What else has happened are we doing that? I don't want the public to think we're doing this show like this just to avoid talking about the Jays losing twice to the White Sox, but it's kind of that, my friend.
There. Let's pull on that one, because going into that one, the Blue Jays had only lost 1 series in 6. And that was against the Philadelphia Phillies, a perennial first place team over the last decade in Major League Baseball, and still a pretty damn good ball club this year too. Jason, thoughts on all of a sudden coughing up our second series win in 7 to the White Sox, of all people, and then to that point, coughing up the last game rather embarrassingly.
I feel like there's a Buffalo team, and no relation to Buffalo. It's more like the drinking game Buffalo, like a Buffalo team for every team in the majors. The Yankees seem to have found 5 or 6 Buffalo teams this year, where the bottom is just having their way with the Yankees. But I feel like every year, it's been Seattle a couple of times. It's been, it was the D-backs when they were awful. There's always somebody that's going to be a thorn in your side. And for this year, for the Jays, it's the White Sox. So, I mean, you wash that away. I almost didn't like the last loss to the Diamondbacks more, but the last loss to the Sox was pretty bad too. There was some decent baseball in those 3 games, but the Jays just seemed like they couldn't hit their way out of any problems or field their way out of any problems, and they're not getting any pitching help when those games are going like that. And then it all starts to compound on each other. So, I mean, it's good to see some of these guys really cry. Like Ernie Witt's just on fire right now. Kirky stayed hot. They're talking about Vladdy being possibly the perennial best hitter in baseball right now.
I do like that.
I feel like he's
that
got a
nice, especially with that whole giant sum of money thing.
Yeah, I mean that helps too. If they're going to pay you a big schlock of money, you should probably be okay at the sport. So it's all that stuff is good. It's again, it's nice to see the Jays being talked about as being in the wild card now and possibly challenging for actual playoff spots. And so it's you can take a couple of those losses and cram them in your sock because they're going to happen. And I mean, it's baseball. You just got to flush it. And if I've learned anything in the last couple of years about the game of baseball, and you can see there's a couple of college teams who've taken this literally, where they have like a mini toilet in their dugout, and the whole thing is flush it, bat at bat, flush it, drop the ball in the outfield, flush it. You have to be able to move on and get to the next city, next series, next whatever, because if you start dragging this stuff around, which I think was part of the Jays' issue at the end of last year, is they were dragging this stuff around like a piano behind them. Whereas this year they seem to be able to sort of get past it. And then, they have a glorious grand slam last night. And, so what are we still 4 games above 300, 2 back of the Yankees? Like, I mean, the sky is not falling. So we'll see.
No, and then the beauty to this whole thing, before those 7 series is that I was alluding to there. You remember what these shows were like, both of you.
Yeah,
they were like venting sessions. It was group therapy. It was pick a problem, right? This team has massively turned around, regardless of these pieces and whatnot. We wouldn't have been having this talk a month and a half ago at this point. Liz, I don't know how you're feeling after the White Sox series, but obviously it was a big win yesterday, and we're facing Gavin Williams today with the Cleveland Guardians, who's a stud. So I'm hoping that Max goes toe-to-toe with him, as we're going to be calling the game live tonight. But to that point, where are you thinking right now?
You know what, man? I took the White Sox series pretty hard. I won't lie. But here's the thing. Let's talk about what's promising from this. The bats are alive. That's awesome. Yesterday, we saw a really promising game where we had a really crummy – that's an official baseball term, crummy – baseball or bullpen appearance. What was it? How many pitchers did we use in 3 innings? It's like 5. It's too many. But you know what? Our bats dug us out. We had a Springer mega dinger at the Grand Slam.
Mega dinner.
And like, man, how long has it been since we're like, our bats carried us out of our shit pitching. It's been forever, boys. And so that was really promising. So our bats are alive. I truly believe at some point I'm like, cool, we can dig our way out of these things. And like it was like we were fine in a few of those games. Final inning. And Jason, what happened?
Andres Jimenez.
Yeah, with a double off the wall. That missed a home run by 2.5 feet.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, the horrible thing is the left fielder for the not so tribe played that perfectly and almost threw Andres Jimenez out at second. It's Stephen Kwan. Once again.
Well, it's less than
Stephen Kwan. Noticing a trend.
Yeah, good play. Nice runner on 2 out, 3rd inning.
Yeah.
See if we can get
so
old Bo Cephas what Bo's been doing
Yeah.
for the last month, which is just driving in runs like a madman.
Yeah, 275 with runners in scoring position. It just said over the last month. Wild. Not getting one right now though.
Dang it.
Denied.
Yeah.
So, but Liz, you were talking the White Sox series and obviously the dinger yesterday. That I was listening to the game on the radio because I was stuck at work last night, and of course, for some reason here in New York, the game was blacked out last night. I couldn't watch it on anything, so I had to listen to Ben Schulman, and I think it was whoever the other gentleman that does the radio broadcasts, but LaRue.
Yeah, Chris, he was. I will say this. He was when I watched. He was a Canadian Bachelor, so let's never forget that.
Former Blue Jay too. So
yeah,
anyway,
when they knew that, and all the Jays made fun of him when he was the Canadian Bachelor, and like the babe he picked wasn't even that hot. I will also say that.
Was he on your babe list? Just saying.
He's gorgeous, but like, yeah, he could have done better. But anyway, he's
there it is. So I'm listening to the game while I'm working, and I was starting to feel crushed a little bit. It was 6-4. The Guardians were coming back into it, and I was like, oh, great, here it goes, especially with the stuff we've seen at the end of our bullpen lately and how things have just, I'll just say, transpired at the end of the game the last few weeks. I was just scared, fearful. Felt my Buffalo Bills fandom coming out. And as far as those kind of things go, Springer lines up that grand slam, and I literally jumped out of my seat while I was sorting baseball cards last night. So it was fun stuff. But finish your thought on the what you were thinking for that game last night or the White Sox.
I'll do that anyway. So this is the thing. So they were good until the last inning, which we're having problems with Jeff Hoffman. We're having problems with their pitching, which we know. Like, we know that we're having problems with their pitching. And the thing is, like, I'm sweating the pitch. I like that I'm sweating one thing. I'm sweating our pitching right now. I'm not sweating our bats and our pitching and our catching and 3 other things. So I think that, like, so I don't know. I was like, I took it hard, but I was like, okay, cool. We just, like, I think if we make some adjustments, like we're above 500 right now, or 1.5 spots out of first. Like, this Yankees series coming up, we could take the division. Whereas I will party very hard. And so I took it hard, but I didn't see it as like, I didn't see it as like a harbinger of doom or where we're currently at. I was like, oh, we need to make some adjustments.
Yeah. So first things first, I'm gonna go to the chat here because Michael Borland, hey, hi, how you doing, buddy? So
Big Mike.
I did not see the segment that you're referring to, Mike, with the Vladdy and being talked about with Mark DeRosa. I did not see that one. That was I'll have to check that one out. But apparently I'm not surprised the launch angle part is part of that conversation. Rewind a few years right before Vladdy went off for the almost MVP season. We were talking about that same thing. If anybody remembers, he was hitting the ball like 1,000 miles an hour down into the plate right in front of him, and you just weren't getting that same pop and lift that you were talking about. And we're not far from that, but to that point, he is hitting with some gusto when he is making great contact lately. It's just unfortunately going, it seems like lately, right at people. I don't know if you two have the same piece to that whole thing, but Vladdy has been doing well, don't get me wrong, but Mike's right that it's not exactly leaving the ballpark, but I'm perfectly fine if he hits enough hard line drives. Some of those are going to start carrying over the wall.
Yeah, agreed.
Sure. The home run he hit the other night was like, it never got like more than 40 feet off the ground, and
it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's just like they
over the wall
run
at
into the
117 miles an hour. So go ahead, Liz. What were you going to say?
No, I mean, I think that's it. I mean, and they showed the stat that was like the worst luck they've had is Jimenez and Vladdy's balls. Like, they're just hitting them where there's guys. And so I don't know. I feel, you know what? I feel good about this team currently. That's my update. I feel, and it's nice to feel good about it. The Yankees haven't run away with anything. I'm stoked to see where we are in about a month, a little bit post All-Star break, but yeah, it's not a dour situation. I don't think, and this is the best part, which is unusual. Where is Scherzer? Where is Santander? Like, we could jam those pieces back in, and we could really, really be contenders. So I'm optimistic at this point.
What are your guys? What's your guys' thought on a guy like Santander? Like, do you think now that maybe, you know, as excited as I think, I was, especially a couple of months ago. I mean, the shine's really worn off. Do you think that he is a viable piece to trade to a team? It seems like the National League is bulking up everywhere you look. I mean, it is going to be an absolute dogfight to get out of the National League. The team that comes out, if they don't take the World Series in 4, I'll be really surprised. But do you guys think that Santander has made himself into a movable piece at this point, just because his stay with the Jays has been so bad?
Yeah.
I see where you're going on that, Jason. I really do. But I think at the end of the day, that sends a shitty message to the free agent market if we turn around and flip him when he didn't really get a chance to play. And not to mention, who else is going to really take on Anthony Santander with that money, with what's going on? It's a huge risk for a team right now. And we'd be selling on the lowest of low. And I honestly, my true belief is that we have a really good bat in Anthony Santander for those years that we did get him on the contract. I don't think he's been healthy the entirety of his Blue Jay tenure with his shoulder injury. Hence the reason we haven't even seen him taking swings and off the record yet. That he has not resumed baseball swinging or baseball activities yet at this point. So there has got to be something pretty jacked up with his shoulder. And I'm hoping that he's just trying to get healthy enough where he can come in and run into 20 here at the end of the season or whenever he comes back. I doubt it'll be that many, but the power is just so thunderous, and having him solidify the lineup right behind Vladdy with that right, left, right, especially with Barger doing what he's been doing up the top of the lineup, that's going to be a fun lineup when you get him back.
But what do you? I mean, here's my thing is who are you taking out? Like, I mean, are you removing Rodon or I mean, he's been pretty good. Are you taking out, like, who are you taking out? Nathan Lukes, he's been good. Like Santander has, unless he comes back and immediately turns into the old guy, I don't know what you do with him. He's not a functional enough. He's not a good enough outfielder for you to take chances on him playing the field. He has to hit. He has to be, in peak hitting form, or he's just not doing what he's there to be doing. So I mean, I think that creates a very interesting situation. It's always nice to have the sort of bounty of riches that we have with infielders, and now that we've been able to sort of do the same with the outfield, where does he go?
Yeah, I think you're going to be trading, to your point, Jason. The outfield is too convoluted at this point, but the beauty of this same argument is all those kids have options.
Yep.
So they don't have to stay at the major league level. And we saw how good the Blue Jays are at DFAing people as of literally today. It's the guy we spent some good money on to come to Toronto to be in our bullpen / maybe a fifth starter, Spencer Turnbull. Bye. He was DFA'd today. So they're not afraid to cut anybody, I don't think, at this point, because they are, to your point, trying to contend and go for it.
Contenders.
Go for it.
And it's sick that we know who we are. Let's take a minute here also to be like, last year we're like, are we contenders? Are we sellers? Who are we? So it's awesome that even just in our direction of knowing this is who we are contenders. That's awesome. Guys, congrats. Looks like we're going to be contenders. Yeah. That's a cool place to be. We have Vladdy signed. Guys, how awesome is that, right? Like, I mean, I'm happier than I thought I'd be at this point a month ago. So I will take these moments and enjoy them.
Yeah. Then there's this whole thing, Jason. We're talking about putting Santander back in the lineup eventually, who is probably, to Michael's point here on the chat, not going to be back until way after the All-Star break. Jeremy's sitting here going, why is Varsho always hurt? We still have Dalton Varsho that's on his way back to this team, too. That is another insanely good bat. And obviously, we know he's one of the better fielders in baseball, but we've seen a different side of him when he was healthy right before the hammy gave out on him running to third base. There's a point here where you think you're going to push these guys, the Davis Schneiders, the Jonathan Clauses, the Alan Rodens, Nathan Lucas, that have options. They're going to unfortunately find themselves sitting at the end of the season in Buffalo if these guys are healthy. And that's not a bad problem to have, because at the end of the year, too, you're going to eventually George Springer leaves this team after next year. So we got some guys that come back and take those spots. Anthony Santander, maybe with the shoulder. He's just a DH when he comes back too. So you're going to need somebody to take those outfield reps, and we have an embarrassment of riches. And then we are going to trade for somebody. You both know that where they are right now, this front office cannot afford to not do something at the trade deadline now to make this team better. What better place to use that depth and give somebody a Jonathan Clase, who I'd hate to see move, but if it gets me what I want, which is, in my opinion, a closer to help this team out, you have outfielders that you can trade that are major league ready that would help teams like the Miami Marlins, the Colorado Rockies, these other teams that are trying to build up that youth core and maybe give us one of those pieces back that can help us win a damn World Series.
Yeah. I mean, a closer would be, and I think,
I was going to say, just
bye.
We were just talking about it.
Vladdy. We need a horn.
Yeah.
Just crushes on the left. Wasn't it bad? I wish. It's too bad if you're not watching this, like if you're at home or if you're driving or whatever, that was just a clinic on how good this guy is right now at the plate. He fouled off 3 or 4. He watches one. He watches a cutter just off the plate, and the catcher shaking his head that the ump didn't give them the call. They show it again. It's not a strike. And then he takes the next one.
Yeah.
They haven't said how far, but I mean, it was demolished.
Oh, it was 104 miles an hour. I saw that part. I think it said 380.
Jiminy
Christmas. That was a golf shot. Far outside, teed that thing up. That's my favorite part of Vladdy's swing. When he knows he gets it, he gets that little, like, he goes through and he does the.
Did you see that? Oh, that was the best. So, as on the replay I just saw, there's a dude walking down to his seat as Vladdy hits it, and he looks up and he's watching it go, and you can just see him go, fuck. It was so. Did that just happen again?
Oh, no, it was the replay.
They always get you on the replay, man. Always get you on the replay.
I thought Kirky was
too funny.
Man, but like Vlad's playing with some balls. It's a lovely time.
Bobble. There we go.
Yeah. But to that point, hey, Mikey, I think we got that one covered, bud.
Yeah.
That
one's done, eh, lads? Hold on. Okay, hold on. I have a question from New Brunswick, Canada guy. My guy. I think Jays need to trade Josh Naylor to hit behind Vlad. I'm concerned sometimes that we value people from Canada too much. Like, is Josh Naylor, like, he's a cute looking guy, he hits the ball, but is he that good? I mean, he's okay. It's okay, right? So
there's
so to that point, help that. He's batting 307 right now with 53 RBIs and 10 home runs.
Okay,
he's pretty team that's doing pretty rough.
Was he at first base? Is he DH or what? His brother's a catcher. Yeah, he's
more first base, left field.
I know he's always. I know.
You don't want him in left. He's bad in left.
He's a little fluffy.
Yeah, but But to that point, I don't need him to play left. Like we just want him to destroy baseballs for a living and maybe platoon with Vladdy at DH, right?
Yeah.
Long term.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that over the next sort of 3 months or 3 weeks, we're going to start to see some of the teams who are, getting out of it. There are a bunch already. And obviously the teams that are, heating up, they're going to push, right? I mean, the Mets were super hot. They've cooled off. The Cubs were not very good. They're really hot right now. Like the Orioles, the Jays have to really be careful with the Orioles right now. They are getting hot. They are healthy and they are good. They are a really good baseball team. And if you give them any kind of room, they will rock you. So it's interesting. The Yankees are faltering right now. I don't think Tampa can keep this up as well. Even in the National League, you've got
Tampa's riding their offense right now. Their pitching's been rough.
But it's an epidemic around the league. Like, the Dodgers pitching hasn't been great. San Fran's pitching hasn't been great. And yet they still win games. They manufacture wins and they're that good. And it's interesting, Liz, because you kind of said this. I feel like the Jays are just on the precipice of what a great word that just popped out.
Okay.
Of being that kind of a team where you can manufacture a win when you need it, right? Like you get down a few, you're like, screw it, let's go hit a home run and let's get back into this thing. And you see that swag coming back a little bit. That when the Jays do have it, like we've seen in the past when Vladdy and Bo have that swag going on, they're the two of the best players in the league, and when they don't, they're terrible. So I'm happy that Vladdy's riding this high. I hope that he can keep feeling the flow. Same with Bo. I mean, Bo's been unbelievable. It's a fun time to be watching baseball if you're cheering for the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Buddy, New Brunswick, Canada guy's on fire. If you didn't know, back up for Vladdy right now at first base is Ernie Clement, and then he played the other night. So the one thing that is a plus in trade for the Blue Jays is Naylor's actually a free agent at the end of the season, so you're technically renting him.
Yeah, you could get him.
That would help in favor.
Jesus, that was close. That almost got through again. It's how far do you guys think Max goes in this game?
I hope 6.
I mean, the home run really helps. That's super important to get them back to square. Did Craig fall out of his chair?
Yeah, he done that. Craig's dead. I hope 6. I hope 6. I mean, that's it. Like, how many innings did he go in the Buffaloes?
I think his last start, I think he threw 5. I think.
Yeah.
I think when you're doing those kind of rehab stints, I don't think they want you throwing much more than 5, depending how many you throw when you get there. But, I've seen, even with the Vancouver Canadians, when they've got kids that are rehabbing up, they'll sometimes control them to 3 innings, and then those kids will actually go to the bullpen and throw more. They don't necessarily want them throwing to live batters anymore. They'd like them to, they're working on spin rates, or they're working on, maybe trying a different pitch. Like, everybody's trying to throw a better cutter or sweeper right now. And so, maybe you go and you throw 20 more pitches, 10 of which are sweepers or cutters, and then 10 are fastballs or off speed. So
what's his pitch count right now?
Let me just see.
Take a little peek there, my guy. What's up, Dusty? Yeah.
Let me go to the interwebs here.
Beep boop, beep boop. Hack that mainframe.
Come on, let's go. It's got commercials. Let's go. I was hoping it would come back in between there. Let me see. Pitch count. This game's not even updated. Oh, here we go. It's back now. Oh, there's some handsome Blue Jays fans in the crowd in attendance today. It's a short jaunt down from Toronto to Cleveland.
They're doing that. My favorite thing about Blue Jays games is if you're a female and you would like to get on the television at an away game, you just have to have tremendous breasts and you have to wear Blue Jays gear, and you're gonna get on that TV a bunch. Like a bunch.
100%. I mean, it's and I always think it's funny. Like I never think of it like when I go to a Canucks game or something else, but when it's getting close to the Blue Jays season, if you wear a Jays hat to any other sporting event that Sportsnet covers, they will find you.
Except again, if you have tremendous breasts as a woman, they will find you 6 times more. Now, I do have rockin' guns, but are they tremendous? I don't know, guys. Carry on.
They're spectacular and they're real.
The number one babe's all over it.
Number one babe. Let's go.
Those guys must be on some team.
What I missed. Other than the world's worst swing by Carlos Santana there.
Dusty says, Dusty says we're at around 40 pitches right now. So for Scherzer. So you know what? I hope he stays into 75 pitches. I hope he can
42.
Stretch him out here.
40, yeah.
Like, I don't know if they'll let him go 100, but like around 75. And like if he goes 75 and 6 innings, that would be happy.
Yeah, I can't see
the most he threw in Buffalo was 73, I think, in the second rehab start. They were hoping to get him to 80, and it was just like, why bother? He already had like 8 strikeouts or something like that in the rehab start. So, but to that point, I love the passion that you're seeing from him, because he's just like 100%, like 9,000 playoff level freaking. Exactly. All gas, no brakes, right?
All gas, no brakes. That's
Let's go, boys.
Yeah.
Hot Coming in hot from the radio feed, Michael Borland's telling us he's on a limit of 85 tonight.
He heard it on the radio. You have to have an AM radio in your hands. Let's go.
He's got a ham radio.
He's quite dedicated listening to our shenanigans and listening to it on a ham radio. Cheers, bud.
There you go. There you go, Michael. Or else he's saying he heard earlier when he was out and about having a Mike Borland day. I wonder what a Mike Borland day is.
There you go.
Yeah, let's find out.
I'll have to have Mike.
Got a detail comment that says Max is the opposite. Max is like the opposite of Vladdy because Vladdy's all fun all the time. Max is way too intense. Why so serious?
He is. I like this camera.
One ball game.
Anybody who's at home right now, I don't know if it's just in this stadium or if Sportsnet's added that sort of, I don't know if it's a drone cam or if it's on a string. It's awesome. It gives a really good view of the field.
Yeah, it's cool. Eh?
Yeah, that's got to be something that's in Cleveland because we get that same awesome shot whenever the Blue Jays are playing in Seattle as well. It's got to be something on like a zip line down the one baseline or something.
Yeah. I will say this: Seattle has a number of really good, smart,
cameras and
camera angles.
Can't run on Kirky. I'm probably 2 seconds out of here or something.
I was switching it over to my 4K feed so I can see the sweat palpitations on their faces. Another thing,
they're going to go try for a replay.
Going to go for a replay. He made the earmuffs sign. He did this one.
Yeah.
He said,
must be a kid. Don't swear around the kid. Put your earmuffs on.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know if he even touched him.
No, he might be right.
Oh, he got him. He got him on the. He got him on the knee.
So we're talking about your did Kirk throw out a runner? What's going on here, boys?
Yeah, he's out.
Kirky's got him.
Yeah, he's out.
Kirky with the gun.
Jeremy's right. Kirky with a monster gun.
Yeah, he's
all these comments.
He's got him by 1.5 inches.
So I was shit talking Kirk a lot.
What?
Apparently, Kirk's in pretty good shape right now versus before. I know that from photos, so I take that back.
Yeah. Kirky's in the best shape of his life, candidate.
Yeah, Kirky's in better. Like, here's the thing.
Oh, that is so close.
The best thing is the call on the field was in our favor. So it's going to be one of those things where the call stands, I think.
Yeah, that was like Clement last night. Clement had a home run turned over, right? Or what happened? He had a...
Oh, it was, crap. It was last night, right?
Yeah, he had a home run turned over.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Called it a double or something.
Yeah, I was thinking.
So, but anyways, let's just talk about Kirky for a sec, because if Cal Riley is not setting major league records in home run ballparks for a catcher before the All-Star game, starting this All-Star game is probably Alejandro Kirk.
I don't think there's any probably. It's him.
Yeah. Cal Riley's got 34 home runs? It's Barry Bonds,
crazy.
Catcher.
He's pushing Barry Bonds' record right now.
Yeah,
it's
Barry
crazy.
Did
he
39, I think.
Yeah, he had 39 at this point. He's 3 behind him, but he's out. Should have never even challenged it. Just look at that. Look at that little monkey. Of course, he threw him out. Yeah,
rip him out. Yeah, Cal Riley is batting a mere .281 with 32 home runs, 69 RBIs. It's fudging ridiculous. It's amazing that he got paid, and he is making it rain home run balls.
Well, it's good. I mean, as much as I'm not a fan of the Seattle Mariners, it's finally nice to see them spend some money on somebody and then actually follow through. Like, I mean, the Mariners have to be one of the, like, if you look at the big contracts they've given out over the years, that's fair. They've given out
more get a chance for Barge
contracts that have not fulfilled than I would say most. The Mets are probably up there, and there's probably a few others. Red Sox are probably up there, but they just seem to always pick the wrong time to give a guy a big check. But Riley's
Mad
proving them wrong.
That Sheen kid kills us. He was the one that hit a couple of home runs when we were at the game the one day, Liz.
Yeah,
Yeah. So Scherzer trying to do everything he could do his best friend Fred Flintstone vibes there, trying to lean the ball over, get it off, go foul. But it is what it is. But Kirk, I'm also just gonna just say this. I'm so glad that there is a person like Cal Riley in Major League Baseball that's nicknamed Big Dumper because he's got a big butt that actually got paid in Major League Baseball. He's definitely backing that truck up with plenty of RBIs dumping on home plate. So fun shit.
Yep.
But
we were just pumping Kirky's tires, and I would put that as an error on him. That's not a wild pitch on that advance.
yeah.
Oh, maybe.
I'll give you 50-50 whose fault that one
Yeah,
actually
that's
is, because
definitely
I think
50-50.
Kirk, I still hate that weird framing stance, man. Maybe it's the old school baseball player.
Hold on,
I've
what do
been
you
listening
mean?
to too much Punk
Show me his
Martinez.
framing stance. Show me. Is it on one knee? Is it about being on one knee?
It's one knee with the one leg kicked like way out, and you just don't have any, quick move to your other way, and that's as bad as that pitch was thrown, because clearly Max tried to squeeze that thing. The egg was a break in his hand with that one. It's just you don't get that flexibility if you were sitting there, like a Major League Baseball catcher, and be able to shift either way and block that ball. But it is what it is. I'm sure Buck is all over that one on the feed right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I turned mine down, so I didn't have any static.
But
I think
you want to get sued?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. I can't even turn the camera around. Even though we're the official podcast of a number of Jays things, I don't think we're allowed to show the actual broadcast happening live.
The funnier thing is, this exact vibe that we're playing around with here tonight is actually how this show started when I started doing this whole thing with Adam Corsair and Brendan Panikar a million years ago, and a bunch of other goofballs that used to come on the show. It was just getting a bunch of people together talking about the game, and I know we're just going to hang out for Mad Max here, and then we're going to retire like we were talking about after the normal hour. But it's fun to be able to sit here and goof around, and I'm so glad that there's so many of you actually goofing around in the chat, because it is fun to obviously have all of you. 144 of you actually currently in the chat with us on episode 467. Much appreciated. Having fun. But Schliemann is apparently the Guardians version of Ryan Mountcastle is New Brunswick, Canada guy's comment here. That's just too funny, because that's what he has been this year. It just seems like he's mashing us as we hopefully get out of full count here with 2 outs and a runner on third with Nolan Jones, the former Colorado Rocky, at the dish.
Speaking of terrible baseball teams, what do we know about that pitcher that the Jays picked up today from the Marlins?
I don't know a lot, buds.
I actually talked about that this morning on Jay's Latest, my other show, and I'm actually kind of excited. We have a guy that was pitching really well, and
Scherzer. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Scherzer was arguing something earlier, and he just got a time count for ball 4.
Not a full count.
Yeah, it's ball 4. He walked him. He walked him without throwing a pitch.
He's trying to tell him he disengaged in time, I guess, is what it looks like he's arguing.
I don't know.
Let him play. Yeah. So, but no, that Pena kid is actually, he came set too early is what the call was. Dusty's all over it. The kid that they got from the Marlins, which we gave up a reliever, but we got a starting pitcher back. He had like a 3.6 ERA or something like that in the International League, which is AAA. He just got called up to the majors, and he'd only pitched 1 inning. He gave up 1 run, so he's got a 9 ERA, but he'd been doing really well. So we actually picked up a depth arm.
Yeah, that's what I
thought. For this whole
fun
that we're trying to figure out.
I did a little reading.
A sneaky move.
It's a good one. I mean, anytime you can get a bottom feeder team to give you up something that's got some decent decent prowess.
That might be an accurate statement.
That's one of my favorite comments I've seen in quite some while. New Brunswick, Canada.
Scherzer is going to be in the umpire. Let's go, boys.
If he does it, if he rips one right off his dome, I will die. I just die.
Is that a thing that we've seen before and often?
Oh, have you never seen it where an ump makes a bad call, and catcher will literally be like, the call will be high and away, and he just he's safe. He'll just drill it, like the catcher just moves out of the way like he blew the pitch. and the ump just takes one wherever it decides to hit him.
Yeah.
At the clip.
What'd I do?
There was a softball game, NC2A softball game that I saw not too long ago where the girl hit the ump twice, both times after bad calls, and then she got tossed, and the coach got tossed, and it was actually pretty interesting.
I like that kind of part of baseball. That grittiness is sometimes not there, and it just irks me a little bit because it should be. This is a competitive game, especially with two teams like this that are going to be potentially playing each other for playoff spots. And as much as I didn't want to see, was it Gabriel Arias do what he did? Another guy that kills the Blue Jays so far this year, drives in a pair, puts the Guardians up 3-1. Of course, that's the horrible that happens. Scherzer actually springing off the mound, and the inning's finally over. PvP are all set.
Oh, Lord.
So they got out. They got out.
Yeah.
This much too late. This much too
Pitch
late.
count. Okay, Dusty, what's the pitch count? Somebody tell me.
Oh,
I'm on
I
it.
can remind you, tell you. Here, I'll tell you.
I got the box in front of me. 60.
Okay, good. 60. I'm happy with this. Okay, let's keep him in. But I would like to see him
Keep
go
it
to
riding.
Yep.
Keep him in 60.
He's probably got one more good inning in him. The crazier
felt
thing is
like-
he struck out the side in the first inning, right? He hasn't struck anybody else out since, and he's walked 3.
Yeah.
But I don't see a lot of horrible going on here.
Hold on,
Because
my
this is
score
a-
just updated. We're down 3. We're 3-1 right now.
Well, that's
yeah,
down
that's
to
why
it.
I was saying with
Yeah, I didn't. So my
Yep.
score just updated, bam, all at once. And I was like, what?
Yeah, it hit a double in the gap, 2-run score.
Friggers.
Friggers. Of
Well,
course, it
boys.
was right after the did not come to a set.
So
to
I
the
will
early
see. I will
enough
ask the question
thing.
again. Is Scherzer scamming us?
No, I don't think so.
No. I think he's too angry and wants to win too bad that he would ever scam anybody because he just wants to be out there. You imagine like 10 years from now what Mad Max is going to look like on a softball field because he's never going to stop playing.
Yeah.
Oh, he threw it. He'll throw at his own son in a father-son game. That's one of my
I see what
favorite
you did there,
lines.
and
in
I like
nature,
it.
by the way.
That's a good one.
So good.
Yeah, that's almost as bad. That's like a Bob Eucharism almost, as far as that is. He threw at his own son in it because that's who said it, right?
That's it. Yeah.
That's right up there
Glorious.
with Yogiisms.
Yeah,
Hey, just remember, there's a fork in the road. You take it.
yeah. It's the best.
So 3-1 Blue Jays losing at this point. Obviously the offense they got plenty of time in this, but Gavin Williams has been doing well outside of that home run to Vladdy. He's only allowed 2 other base runners and he struck out 2. So no walks. Yeah. It's not a horrible idea.
I feel like it bears mentioning. I don't know if you can grab that image, Craig, that I sent you from Instagram, the one of the Manoah
I'm sure I can.
Pitched balls. Liz, I don't know if you had a look at that or not, but Alec Manoah posted today some miles per hour and pitch counts. Now, Craig and
95.
I talked about this a little bit off air. I don't recall anyone ever saying out loud that Alec Manoah was getting Tommy Johns. I might have blanked it out of my memory.
But I think you blanked it. I think you blanked it.
You did.
Because here's the thing. When it came out, I was like, bah, I don't even care. I was like, I give 0 cares that he's getting Tommy Johns. Like, whatever.
It's interesting because
Instagram
my buddy. Yeah, I Instagrammed it to you. My buddy Jamie Lawson, who is a regular listener on the podcast. Thank you again, Jamie, for always listening. He was the one that sent me the picture, and we both were kind of like, I don't remember.
Yeah, it was buried in our own hatred for the man.
Getting Tommy Johns. Anyways, if you can't find it, Craig, I can probably
ping it back.
I can probably give it the old Cole's notes. So the quote was, "Velo was up to 95, best he's felt in a while," from John Schneider. And then it's a video of him pitching. If you guys go to our socials, it'll be up on our socials. But the 3 balls that are in his glove an interest. Here's
Oh, I did see that one.
very interesting. So one of them says day 359, first live versus Varsho, past surgery. One says day 1 throwing Tommy John surgery rehab, 168 days. One says first bullpen 270 days post Tommy John surgery. And then 359, obviously, he's throwing against Varsho. So Varsho's healthy enough to be taking ABs, which is a positive on the
I got it.
Varsho side of things.
There you go.
But I found this very interesting. Oh, and by the way, people, if you're not following us all on our socials, what's your problem? I mean, I mean, Liz has like 70,000 followers. Craig and I need to get our game up here. So tell your friends to follow Craig and I.
Yeah. Follow.
Our egos are soft.
They're good boys. They're good boys. They don't know, but they're good boys.
I put a lot of fun stuff up there. But
we want to be able to beat Liz at one thing because she's destroying both of us at the picks of the click.
What you need to do is to be a girl who has a cute face and doesn't understand a lot about baseball and is a living gimmick.
There you go.
Yeah. That the one you were talking about there, bud?
Yeah, that's the one there. So if you guys get a chance to check it out, it's a very interesting picture to see those things. No way. Yeah, thank God. I mean, there's no way you should be able to turn 2 against good speed like that. Anyways.
Yeah, but he's counting his balls. But like, here's the thing, man. I don't know. I want to see him have a comeback, but I guess we'll see. Like, I don't know. Is he pitching yet? What's his vibe?
There's the one. There's the truth. Yeah. He's getting healthy just so they can trade him for Sandy Alcantara. Well played. I see what you did there. That's fun.
Yeah, he's on fire. He may have been.
He's throwing the ball 95.
At the same party you were at today, Liz?
Yeah, he might have been.
He might have been there.
Too many beer.
A couple of tall boys for the Newfoundlander. New Brunswick boy.
Let's go.
Alan Roden running a little too soon on that one.
Oh, you're out.
The nailer nailed it.
Was that a hit and run?
I think that's what it was supposed to be. He looked a little flat-footed. Yeah, that was supposed to be a hit and run. Now he's like, shit. He had to keep going.
Oh, well,
Dingers, boys. Let's go.
And why are you sliding with your legs? Slide to the outside. Slide to the outside and make that a really hard. You kids out there.
Yeah.
If you slide to the outfield,
can I be this person?
Side, slide to the outfield.
Yeah. Who the heck calls a hit and run?
For that guy to tag you.
Yeah. Who the hell calls a hit and run with a guy batting $192?
I don't know. Yeah, that is a good point. That is a good point. Yes.
I feel like that might. Oh my God! Look at Manzaro's picture. That is gold. Manzaro.
I don't see it. What are you saying? Is he a babe? Is he not a babe?
No. He would not fall onto your babe scale. If he does,
not unless you're in the 70s porn star mustaches.
Okay, hold on. I got him. Somebody bring up Manzaro. Here he is. Here you can see he's got a little face with a mustache. He looks like a cartoon of a man.
Yeah. Do you have a baseball card of that cardboard rectangle of that man on? As I have one here.
I don't, but you know what? I don't. But if I did, show the rectangle.
I'm gonna see if I can find the rectangle. I had it the other day. Yeah, there you go. Check that shit out. That is so 70s mustache look.
Oh, actually, he's actually pretty good looking there. He's a good looking dude there.
Yeah.
Good looking guy.
It's sparkly and numbered. It's fancy.
I'm just about to trim my mustache for a baseball tournament this weekend. I prefer to go into tournaments with a mustache.
Like a full mustache?
You're not.
Oh yeah. I won't go Hulk Hogan. I won't go. I was gonna do it before this, but I have a busy work day tomorrow, and mustache doesn't really say man about the business world. It says more like I got a white panel van. But I do it for all the tournaments. I assume the kids hate it, which makes me do it even more. I know there's a few people in my life that the second that I do it, they really, really, really regret the second.
What does your wife think?
Yeah, my wife hates it. She absolutely hates it. And like Movember, like I get a pretty good stash going for Movember. If you go back into the archives, I've had some, and I'm usually in Hawaii, so it's a really good, like I'm dark tanned and big mustache look a little Tom Selleck-y, if I do say so.
I was just going to say you go full Selleck with the lip lettuce.
Yeah, but I won't wear a Tigers hat. So there,
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, it's a tradition, especially with an away tournament. We're in Kamloops this weekend, and I do like to bust out the stash for the tourneys. Makes for the winning picture when we win. It's hilarious. I look awful in almost all of them.
I do love that.
I know. I like it.
Now, see, that's fun. And so you're not the dad that's going to like bring the razor or the trimmer with you. And like, if the game gets off to a rough start, just go like down the middle, get it weirdly awkward, come back with like a whole,
No,
meat missing.
I think the only time I've ever done it, we were in provincials and I had done the Hulk Hogan handlebar and we lost the first game. And so then I took it up high and tight right to the thing, and I had some pretty good Raleigh fingers curly cues on the end, and left it with that, and we didn't lose a game for the rest of the way through. So sometimes you have to modify, but if it was an away, no, I would just live with what I had. Live with the choices you make.
So speaking of the choices you make, we got one dream out here that apparently we can trade the whole Blue Jay farm system if we just get J-Ram, Stephen Kwan, and Classe. And it might be a good dream. That would be a fun one.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Yeah, let's go.
Sign it. That means we don't have to worry about paying like the whole farm system, right? We can get some more of that money.
Because we just be out of dudes. We're just out of dudes. How's it going? We're out of dudes.
We're out of dudes. We got 3 guys.
Yeah, we got 3 guys. Like, we're going to be that way for a while, but we're just out of dudes.
Blue Jays trade the farm system the following day, sign everybody on the waiver wire. You get a job. You get a job. Everybody gets a job.
It's like, hey, you guys doing a rebuild? I don't know. I think we're just like out of dudes.
It's more like a tire fire than it is a rebuild.
We're just like out of guys.
We're the Guardians light. We're the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what they do here. Scherzer's at 66. He seems to be cruising pretty good right now. They are hitting him. They're keeping it in the ballpark. And what's he get? 5 hits? I think 5 or 6
5 hits. But he's also walked 3.
Yeah, I see his inning, and
there's been 8 batters on base.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if he makes that.
Friggers.
I think we're going to hang out here for the rest of this inning and see what happens, and then we're going to call this one a night, assuming you guys are good with that idea.
No, I just made a deal with a guy on the internet to buy some game-used baseballs. So if I'm dead, that's what killed me. So
I thought something else was coming there, Lizard. I'm not going to lie to you.
Nope. It wasn't sexy. It was just like, sweet. If I'm dead, it was the man who killed me from Facebook. But I think
just make sure that you, right before you go for the meeting, email out his name and phone number to Craig and I, and then when the FBI comes knocking, at least we have a starter kit for them.
Yeah, done. Thank you.
So, my bigger question here is, why is Liz living the baseball trade for a horrible baseball player trade in real life here? Because usually, isn't that the old joke that I got traded for a bag of balls and a case of beer?
Yep. No, guys, if someone handed me a bag of balls and a case of beer, that's a good night, man.
I'm strangely okay with it.
Ooh, that's a good pitch. Jiminy Christmas, that's a good pitch.
So we're happy with Scherzer. Let's talk a little bit about Scherzer tonight.
I'm happy with Scherzer because here's the best thing with Scherzer right now is he doesn't need to be Mad Max Cy Young winner with the Nationals or the Tigers. He needs to be a 5th starter that eats up some innings and keeps us in ball games. Right now, where he is currently sitting in the 5th inning with 1 out, with a 3-1 score, I know we're on the wrong side of that, but that is in the ball game. That's what you needed.
This was
a bullpen spot.
Yeah,
or watching Bowden Francis get blown up.
This is a good start. I'll take this. I'll take this for at least a couple more weeks until he's into full Mad Max form.
When is Jimmy back? I mean, Jimmy back. When's Jimmy back?
He's rehabbing. Apparently, he's closer than I would have thought. Same thing with I guess he's actually going to be making starts. Dalton Varsho was supposed to start in Buffalo tonight. I don't know if that actually happened.
I forgot about him. I like it when I'm in the state. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that main guy.
Yeah. And imagine what this bullpen looks like with him, at least in this back end here with Hoffman. That right there makes it infinitely better. But right now, the prize for the Blue Jays could be Ryan Helsley. The Cardinals have really, really fallen off. And Ryan Helsley will save 49 games a couple of years ago.
Oh, that was lucky.
Is Hoffman cooked?
Hoffman's thrown too many pitches. It's well documented. The guy is not. He can be a closer, but he's more of your setup guy, and so he's not used to sort of the amount that the Jays have used him. But he is. The problem with him right now is his miss. Whoa, look out! His misses are catastrophic. And you can't close and have catastrophic misses. You can't you can't be missing middle against the guys who hit in the majors right now. I mean, you might as well throw it underhand to them. So he's struggling with a couple of different things. It would be nice if the Jays could give him a little bit of air and allow him to work on what's not working. Because I think that's very important for getting him back, unless the plan is to find a reliever, move him into that setup spot. Then you don't have to worry about it as much. You've gotten to where you are in the season. He has blown a number of very winnable games, which is unfortunate, or games that we were winning. But I mean, again, we talked about this. We're still 3 or 4 over 500, and we're in a wild card, and we're 2 games back to the Yankees.
It's good. It's a good spot.
Yeah.
I mean, we can pick apart the little tiny bits. I mean, in August, if we're talking about
Max piss
7 losses that that didn't get us into the postseason. Oh, there is a little bit of Mad Max. You see that?
Yeah, I saw that. I would not want to be Carlos Santana right now.
He kind of threw the ball at Ramirez,
It looked very Roger Clemens, Mike Piazza-ish.
Very Roger Mike, yeah.
So while we're hopefully getting the second out here against Carlos, or the third out here against Carlos Santana, I just was flipping around trying to see if the Bisons had Varsho in the lineup today, which did not. But I found this clip of Joey Loperfido, the forgotten Blue Jay outfielder, as far as those kind of things go. And he's still a Bison, but watch him just yard sail out for this catch. So
can we see him running? He's running.
Looking very studly.
Oh,
he's
and
running
he
and
runs
running and running.
And he gashes it.
Yeah, he caught it.
I like those vests. I'm not usually a vest person, but I like those vintage looking.
Oh yeah, those throwback Bisons unis are awesome. I love them.
Yeah.
They are.
But he sells out for this thing. So figured that was fun sharing, because that's the one Blue Jay that we got in the trade deadline that everybody forgets about last year.
I forget.
We were talking about how deep the outfield is at the major league level, and these guys that we've had come up, you still got him down in the minor leagues, and he's been destroying the baseballs.
Yep.
So talk about people that might get traded, but I would think because of the years of control and everything, Loperfido is probably going to be staying around longer than not, but never know. That's what the trade deadline's for.
All right, here it is. 2-2,
2-2.
Bottom of the 5th. Runner on second. Terrible mustache. Santana
and another foul
with
ball.
his baseball shorts on.
Let's go.
Is that something new that I just don't remember?
Baseball shorts?
Baseball short thing?
No, I think they've been around for a minute, but you should notice it. So they're hemmed above the knee. I've looked back. They've been here for a couple of years now.
Ernie wears them sometimes. Bo does.
Bo's worn them, and other players have worn them too if you look back in the archives. But
God.
They are shorts.
Looks terrible.
I feel about it.
On the way to a college football game.
It's true, but I feel that'd be hot. I also I like it when they don't wear under the vest; they just muscle it. I want to see that for pants too.
You can't do that.
Yeah,
it's not softball.
Oh, here we go again. Another 2-2.
Well, Kirk doesn't.
Oh, we got him.
Mad Max is loading up.
Good. Okay, maybe if we got another inning out of Mad Max, that's my goal right there. I'd be like, that's great.
I don't think they will. Honestly, I don't think they can.
He's at that pitch count.
Try, but you don't want to give up in this game. You don't want to give up another run, and that's what would happen when guys get tired. you get middle, and then ball goes bye-bye. So
that last pitch to Carlos Santana was his 83rd pitch of the evening. So I would guess that is probably his, but he got the swing and a miss.
Yep.
So
77
Blue Jays
miles
do
an
get
hour.
out of it. It was fun. It was a heck of a drop.
That was
That thing
sick,
dropped a
Vince.
good foot. So good stuff. So that's 6 innings, or no, 5 innings. 5 innings for Mad Max. 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, 3 earned runs, 6 hits. Like we were talking about, that's not a bad line, especially for a guy that's really filling in for the bullpen spot today or for the Bowden Francis spot, whichever way you slice that one.
I think we would also be remiss in mentioning, and this is again, I think this is something that we've brought up. It's come up already this year once or twice. It came up when those ding dongs ripped the ball out of Mookie's glove in Yankee Stadium. I don't know if you guys saw with Ketel Marte.
Yeah, I did.
Horrible. Get that fan out of there and kick him out for life. I
don't think anybody that listens to us or would want to be a part of what we're doing would be would be someone that would do something like this. But I mean, I just have to say that these guys are human beings, and
yeah.
I mean, the dude's mom just died. Like, if I showed up at your work and did that, I mean, it'd shatter you forever. And I agree with you. You get these people out of stadiums for the rest of their lives.
Why would you want to do that? And what I really, actually, I will tell you what I enjoyed about this. When he was crying, everybody wasn't like, what a pussy piece of shit. They're like, what happened? Yeah. What happened?
Exactly.
Is he okay? Like, what's the matter? And then when it came out what had happened, it was just not okay. Like, that's the thing. And I really did like that instead of people just jumping on him for being a man in baseball who cries, they were like, what the shit is wrong? Is he okay? What is the matter?
And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but in Canada, I don't know if it is. That might be gone. No, come here, Wall. In Canada, it is mental health month, and it is something that doesn't get. We could do a whole show on it. It doesn't get talked about enough. Yeah, we have. I as
like 4 or 5 times, I think.
I'll be 53 in a week or so. 2 weeks. And I have never really dealt with my own mental health super well. I've tried to sort of evolve we often joke as coaches, like that, just cram it down and then use the rage later. It's funny to make the jokes about it, but I find it's something that you have to take care of, and you have to make sure that mentally you're stable.
It's a muscle.
You got one brain, and if it goes on you, you're done. And I mean, there's two. I just watched the thing on that poor 16-year-old kid from Vancouver who ended up killing himself. That was cyberbullied by that guy in Africa, and I mean, the African government, or they don't get to, they have their own issues. They have a lot of problems, all that other stuff. They got this one right. This guy is going to he cyberbullied 17 kids in the US and Canada, and he is going to jail for 270 years. So to opt out of that, apparently they might allow him to take the death penalty.
Wild. Yeah.
Which, whether you're for it, whether you're against it, whatever you are. I mean, if you're talking about taking the lives of a couple of kids in North America just because you want to try and make $5,000 a kid by cyberbullying them, then I mean, it's so hard, and it's such a hard subject to deal with. So, kudos to him, and kudos to him for going to his teammates, and his teammates for picking him up. It's the same as the poor kid in the World Series, the NC2A World Series, making that error in left field.
Yeah, it's sad.
Every one of his teammates was like, we wouldn't be there without him.
Yeah.
And when with that kind of resounding thing, I know you're never going to feel right about it in your own head. But hopefully you can get over it and move on. I work hard every day with my kids to try and make sure that they can flush it and move on. and it's hard when you're competitive and you're trying to be your best. But take care of your noodles out there, boys and girls.
And girls, I pay hundreds of dollars every month to go to therapy for the time I almost died at the baseball game, and then my favorite baseball team was mean to me. But I will say this: boys are different. I feel like there's a more stigma attached to men, and men, especially as they grow older, they lose social contacts. So men, on average, have less friends and less than women, and they're less likely to reach out. And so I think that we need to teach our boys that it's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to ask for help, and be honest with their emotions, whether that be with other men or through therapy. So I think that because there is, I think, a male loneliness epidemic that is out there, especially with older men. And I think that is a huge deal and something that everybody has to be cognizant about.
Yeah. And to the wonderful friends that we've had on this show, if you have not watched or seen any of those episodes or checked out the people that are obviously part of that, we have had Todd Stottlemyre on this show, who is very focused on the mental part of the game. I would highly recommend his work. We also had Travis Snyder, who is purely on youth athletes and what the mental part of the game does for them and how they can overachieve on the field just as much as they do off the field. I believe that was the actual tagline. So yeah. We've had some really cool friends. And then, of course, our buddy Smiley J. That's his whole new book. Got to check out the 9 Innings for Living a Better Life book. Smiley J Company. Plug there. Awesome. Very good book. So on that note, it appears that Mad Max is officially done for the evening. Should we just fill in this little score sheet thing here and get it going?
Guys, I actually
watch the rest of the ball game.
I actually have to dip out right now. My picks to click is Vladdy. If it's not Vladdy, then pick me for Bo. I gotta dip out.
Got it.
See you, King Can.
Jason and I will finish up. See you, Liz. So, Jason, I guess we're gonna pick who's got it here. We got George Springer, Ernie Clement, Kirk, and Barger were the better quote unquote players last week in Blue Jays baseball. Which one do you think was the best of those ones?
I think
I didn't give him in any specific order. Ernie Clement was one of the picks.
So I think it's got to be him, wasn't he? Didn't he have the most?
Spent like 450 or something like that over the last 11 games. I think I saw. So yeah. All right. Oh my God! Did I just get a win? Holy shit! Alert the media. Liz did not win. We are the media. Good times. So, all right. Well, on that note, like I said, I'm the host. I always go last. So go ahead and pick one. And I'm going to give inevitably Bo or Vladdy to Liz here. It seems like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can keep that charade up until the end of the year. I'm going to.
You just want to pick Vlad to piss her off.
Yeah, I know. Never want to shy away from the funsy picks. I believe that I am going to go with Nathan Lukes.
Lukes.
I feel like he's going to have a big week.
Yeah, and he's going to need to, like we were talking about, if our show's going to come back, because right now he's going to be the one that's on the tilting point. And I think right now, if you talk about who's going to probably stick, it's going to be him and Miles Straw, and it's because of defense and bat. Sure.
Is Straw badly? I never got to see the update of how Straw's injury was. Is he seems okay though? He's there.
He's on the bench. I don't know. They haven't said anything. He's on the bench tonight, according to the scorecard. So,
well, as long as it wasn't broken, I was worried it was broken.
Yeah, I was worried something bad happened there too. He hit that wall hard. Yeah. So good times.
And Clase is there
I'm
too.
gonna ride. Yes. Right now we only have one guy that's on the bench right now is technically capable of playing the infield. That's David Schneider on our bench. I guess you could use Heineman at first base in a pinch, but MVP Heineman. Bases loaded, Jason. I think we need to see how this one plays out.
The sacks are just, and look who's up. Old Man River.
So
he's like, Williams is like, no, not going to throw him a duck.
And Williams throws him a freaking like ephus pitch at his eyes for the first one. 80-mile-an-hour freaking curveball, like right at his eyes.
Yeah, I saw that one. It's funny. I think you're about 10 seconds ahead of me.
Yeah.
So you're going to see.
All right, I'm going to let you call the game then. If you see me
All right.
just jump up for joy, I'll keep quiet for a second.
Oh.
And you can get ready to call it.
Another curveball. He laid that one down and in. That was not in the strike zone, but called strike. So 1-1, 1 out here in the 6th, top of the 6th for you scoring at home, for you shut-ins and ne'er to do's.
If you're, I think the exact
that's
Bob
well
Uecker
hit.
quote.
That's well hit, and it's down. 1 run comes in to score. That'll probably just be it.
Another one comes around third.
Whoa, Vladdy wheeling. So there you go, tie game.
Tie ball game. See,
I go back
Mad
and
Max
take
did
Springer
his
now?
job. I know, right? Mad Max did his job and kept the Blue Jays in the ball game. The game is tied 3-3 as we are wrapping up the show, and we're gonna have to go celebrate a little bit, I think, on that one, and hopefully the Blue Jays continue to rake into that whole thing. And ironically, I got to pick the least contributing Blue Jay for our guest spot, as we didn't have a guest this week. We have Andres Jimenez going into the guest spot.
He's been better.
So, yeah. So, but to that point, top of the 6th with the Blue Jays tying the ball game up. Still got runners on first and second with 1 out. And here's your boy. This would technically count toward your stats for next week. Nathan Lucas at the dish.
Nady boy. All right. Well,
ride the inning out.
Let's see what he can do here.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So Springer actually just beside himself and all happy. He's all smiles and ready to go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's living his best life right now.
Somebody made the joke to me. Is somebody banging on a trash can? Is that why he's doing well again?
Yeah, hilarious. You got to figure. He's played ball for so long that he's got to have those hot streaks still in him. He's.
You see what's going on here?
Yeah, pointing
Nathan Lucas hit the ball at the dugout, and Vladdy's going, "No, hit it that way.
No, hit it out there. Hit it that way." It's hilarious.
Now, see, that was what we were talking about a few minutes ago with Vladdy being the cartoon character that he is versus Mad Max being Captain Intensity.
Yeah.
We have every end of the spectrum now.
Oh, come on.
Just a little bit foul. Yeah. But are Vlad and Springer like the dynamic duo as far as comedy goes in this lineup, in this dugout?
I don't know if you guys get the Uncrustables commercial down there in the U.S. where they ask the guy
I've seen it.
And he's like, he says raspberry, and George Springer says, "What did he say?" And Bloody says Nutella or whatever it is. And he's like, I speak Spanish, right? Like it's just so it's such a well done commercial. I enjoy it thoroughly.
I've seen that one in my travels. And that's an interesting stat there. That is a very telling of a very good first place potential team. Did you see that we had 22 comeback victories, and there's only one team that has more? It was the Giants, I think it said 30.
No, Dodgers.
That was a stinker. Oh, yeah, that makes sense too. That was a stinker. But Lucas ends up beating it out to avoid the double play to end the inning.
Oh well, they all count. All right, buddy, I gotta get going. I got some
cheers to everybody.
Some dinner to make for the kids.
Enjoy, my friend, and
thanks
everybody.
I'll
see you before your birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah, hey.
Blue Jays fans, 171 of you in the chat. Much appreciated. We're obviously going to be, doing our normal thing here, turning into a pumpkin and wandering off, but we are going to go watch the rest of the Blue Jays game. Thank you very much. We'll see you all next week, and we'll talk baseball here on Blue Jays. Jays Lays. It's not Jays Lays. Jaybird Watching. Jays Lays is my other show. Check that out too, and check out the all new jaybirdwatching.com. We even have articles on there that are submitted by our group here. Enjoy. Cheers. Go Blue Jays.
Thank you for listening to the Jaybird Watching Podcast. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch at BirdwatchingGC, and our YouTube channel. If you want to support the show and get extra content, please consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/birdwatchinggc. Go Jays, go.
Woo!